Okay. Yesterday, I figured out that that where this was coming at the bottom of the screen, it was on my screen. So I could easily remove it. Remember, I was telling you, Dr. Satyendra, that recording is on. You have to say okay on it. It was on my screen, not on your screen. Okay, so Rohil, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, folks. So we are, just give me a second, please.
Yeah, and sir,
which is causing this problem.
Yeah, and sir, before we begin, actually, I had some doubt from the third lecture since I was not able to attend the third lecture. So can I? So my doubt.
In fact, revising a lot of things today. So you can hold your question towards the end and let Alok start the
Sure.
slides and review the whole thing. I've stopped sharing because I'm having some problem. Rohil, can you share the document which I had emailed to you last night? It's called Alok 2
Yes.
PDF.
Yes, sure.
And pay attention, he'll be clarifying and reviewing many of those ideas.
So, Satyendra,
So
if
you
I
might
can
get
take his
your
question, that may be beginning of the class. Let's start and take his question.
Yes, why not? Yeah. I think that also is a good idea. Yes, why
Yeah.
delay it? Yes.
Rohil, please
So
ask.
Rohil, go on, ask questions. Yes, go on.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, and sir, in the previous class, you said that if we are able to bring our mind and intellect together, then we will be living a successful life. So yeah, so then sir, I have understood the meaning of our intellect, but then sir, how can we bring our mind and intellect together?
Okay. So when I said that mind and intellect together means where the mind desires are supervised by intellect. The best example would be that instead of child being alone, which is your mind, if there's an adult around, then the mind and is under control. The child is under control. This is what we meant by mind and intellect together, because we know that the mind is emotional. It has only desires. It wants more and more and more. Whereas intellect is a like a teacher. It's like a controller on the mind. Like child wants to eat sweets all the time, chocolate all the time. But if the tooth are decayed, the intellect will say, I know you want to eat chocolate, but your teeth is getting affected by chocolate. It is intellect telling him. So here, mind and intellect come together, and intellect tells him that have a chocolate once in a day. And after chocolate, brush your teeth. Don't have chocolate at the time of sleeping. A lot of people have chocolate before sleeping, when they wake up in the morning, because they have uncontrolled desires. So what he is talking about, that uncontrolled desire, your desires which have no control will run amok, will take you to difficult times. Whereas intellect, when it controls it, It fulfills your desire in a right manner. This is the meaning of intellect and desire coming together. If we can go to desire slide, yeah. We went across yesterday. We'll repeat again for the sake of new joinees. Next slide. Next slide.
Acha. And dislikes? Is the one?
No, go further down. Further down. Further down. 27, 28.
Yeah.
Mind wreaks havoc.
27, 28 is here.
Yeah. We start from here. Mind wreaks
This
havoc.
one.
No, we'll go to mind
that one
wreaks
is
havoc.
here.
Next,
It's here.
Next.
Yes.
Just scroll it down. Then let the title come there. No, before that. Before that. Before that. Before that. Before that. Before that. Yes. No, oh, before that. Yes. 25, 25, 25, 25. 20, slide 25. Yes.
This 25.
Yes. So, so far we have learned that we are a combination of spirit and matter. Spirit in us is what we call it, soul, God, Atma, whatever you call it. And the matter is the body. Now, when it comes to matter, we have got a gross matter, that's a body, and we have got a sukshma matter or subtle matter in us. Though subtle matter, so body is a gross matter, subtle matter is a mind and intellect. Now, the subtle matter, mind and intellect, controls the entire body action. Body has perception of, we have 5 organs for perception and 5 organs for action. So the mind and intellect together control the body, and all our actions and perceptions are controlled by the mind. Now, if the mind has complete control over the body, unchecked, uncontrolled, to the chapter 4, is a mind, because seat of emotion, it only full of desires. It behaves like a child. Its uncontrolled mind ruins everything you have. It based on likes and dislikes, worries and anxiety. Next slide. Just scroll it up a little bit. Full of desires. These are, we know not what we want. Next slide, please. These are some of the fallout if everything is controlled by the mind. Let's go to the next slide. Mind likes and dislikes, attractions and aversions. Now, what is, we stick here, something. So a mind is driven by likes and dislikes.
Yes.
It only does what it likes. It does not do what it doesn't like. Now, the problem is that you can't live your life of likes and dislikes alone, because both will be offered to you in the world. Mind can get, because it gets attracted, it wants more and more. And those are nothing but greed. Now, mind gets carried away by whims and fancies. Whatever you desire, you want to do that. If you want to desire that I must eat mango, which is a mango season, and you eat 12 mangoes a day, you will have a problem. Now, the problem with eating or doing what mind wants is very eternal, very big problem in life, that what is good in the beginning becomes bad in the end. And whatever is bad in the beginning becomes good in the end. How do we know that?
Suppose we ask him for example.
Yeah.
Suppose we test him also.
Yeah. So the how do we know that what is good in the beginning is bad in the end? That is a story. You like to have a smoke. You like smoking in the beginning, but we all know that smoking leads to bronchitis, cough. It leads to the cancer. It leads to host of other problems. Though it looks good, it feels very good in the beginning when you smoke. Same thing with drinking. Same thing with the food. Nobody likes to do exercise in the beginning. Exercise is difficult. You have to wake up, get up in the morning, but in the end, you are healthier. So it is always good in the end. The problem, like with if you live a life of desires, then you may enjoy in the beginning, but in the end, you will certainly regret. This is the problem with living with the mind. Next slide. Just scroll it down. Now, the problem with the likes and dislikes is the world is in constant flux of change. It cannot cater to the individual needs. Like if you like winter, but there'll be 2 more months. There'll be summer, there'll be a rainy season. So winter can't stay throughout. If you like certain fruits, like mango comes only in summer. What happened in winter and rainy season? So the world cannot cater to all your likes and dislikes. So you will have to manage with the world. You won't have what you like all the time. Likes and dislikes are part of life. You have to live with it. They come and go. Must entertain both with ease. But that is not easy. Mind will not accept it because mind only lives by likes and dislikes. Mind is very emotional. Mind has anger. Mind has all the emotions in it. So it won't understand that I have to manage with the world. That management comes from the intellect. Let intellect guide us for peaceful coexisting with the world. Next slide. Problem with the mind is the mind is constantly worried about the past and anxious about the future. This worry about the past and anxious about the future, like example, that you have given your paper for examination. Now, in that examination, after you have given the examination and come back home, you are worried about whether you answered it correctly or not, and very anxious whether I'll pass or not. This is the mind. Now, what happens? These worries and anxiety leads to agitation in the mind. Mind is constantly agitated, constantly worried that what will happen, will I pass or not? Then you are not focusing in the current. It saps your energy. It causes mental agitation and sorrow. Now take a child. When child is playing whole day, he's not tired. In the evening, you tell him, stop, don't jump up and down, sit here. You cannot, you need to take a rest, beta. But a child is still jumping up and down, he's not worried. Whereas the adults, we get tired. We get tired not because we are working. Work never tires us. Traveling never tires us. It's a worry, it's a mind which is anxious about the future and worried about the past. That's what saps all your energy and makes you exhausted. Next slide. Next, let's look at our desires. Mind is filled with desires. It wants everything under the sun. These desires cause agitation, suffering, and sorrow. We need to develop our intellect and use it to control, regulate, and gradually remove the desires. The desire, what you have, the likes and dislikes, what you have, the constant attention which you want from the world is your barrier between you and your requirement to know more about you. Can we have the slide change, Satyendra? We have moved on to next slide, please.
Yeah. Desire 2 is done, no?
No. Worry and anxiety is
2.
done. We'll go desire 1. So desire
1.
So desire is your barrier between you and your discovery of self. So it keeps you occupied. It's not that the desire, why desire is bad, because it keeps you so engaged with it that you don't have time. You can't settle down. You can't look inside. You can't have a time or energy left to learn about you. So desire is one of the biggest barriers in discovering yourself. That is what in the Hinduism, they call it Asura. You all know demon. In Christianity, they call it Satan. In Islam, they call it Shaitan. And Buddhism, Mara. These are the names of the devils, demons. In every language, which is nothing but the desire, your likes and dislikes, which is what you long to get from the world. That what stops you from discovering yourself. An uncontrolled mind creates endless desires. Mind is like a fire. You put one wood in it, it will burn. You put 2 wood in it, it will burn. You'll throw table in it, it will burn. You'll throw window and door in it, it will burn. You have the entire house, it will burn. It will have the entire town, it will burn. Give the entire forest, it will burn. So mind and desires are compared to fire, insatiable. इतनी उसके अंदर आग के अंदर इतनी शक्ति है, हर चीज जलाने की, कुछ भी जला देगी. उससे डिजायर जो है आपकी, जो आपकी लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स हैं, वो अनएंडिंग है, वो कभी खत्म नहीं होती. Now problem with desire at individual level, कि अगर आपको डिजायर है तो फिर if you want an object और वो ऑब्जेक्ट आपको नहीं मिलता है, for some reason you don't get that object, then you get angry. If somebody takes that object away from you, you get very angry. And when you have that object desired, then you are scared that somebody will take it away. So what started as a simple desire now has become converted into anger and fear. So Rohit, see कैसे धीरे धीरे जो है एक simple desire becomes anger, becomes fear, becomes worries. And when you have something which you wanted, suppose you have earned more money, you are getting 1 lakh rupees salary, then you are rich in your mind. And somebody who gets 30,000 rupees, you have arrogance. अरे इसकी तो खाली 30,000 रुपए तनख्वाह है, मेरी तो 1 लाख रुपए तनख्वाह है. Same, simple, started with a simple desire. Now it has become anger. You are scared, you are worried, and you have arrogance. लेकिन आपका एक क्लासमेट है, इसकी तनख्वाह 5 लाख रुपए है, तब आपको उससे जलन हो रही है. You are envious of him. So what started as a simple desire has led to now anger. It has led to I think Rahul has lost connection. So what started as a simple desire has become converted to anger, arrogance, envy. It has become everything now. So desire, besides developing into modification, besides becoming anger and fear and arrogance and envy and greed and avarice, also multiplies like bacteria. If you have a desire for one, the moment one gets fulfilled, you want second. आपके पास दो है, आपको थर्ड चाहिए. आपका तीसरा है, आपका चौथा चाहिए. आपके पास एक साइकिल, पहले आप एक साइकिल चाहते थे. You want a cycle. The moment you get a cycle, you want a scooter. आपके पास स्कूटर आ गई, now you want a car. कार आ गई, you want a BMW, bigger car. आपके पास BMW आ गई, so you want a sports car. तो डिजायर कभी कमी नहीं होती है. उसको कम करने के लिए इंटेलेक्ट को कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा. डिजायर को समझाने के लिए, कंट्रोल करने के लिए, अपनी बॉडी को टू बी ट्रीटेड प्रॉपरली, इंटेलेक्ट नीड्स टू गाइड desire into modification. If we do not do that, it causes immense grief and misery, and which can even lead to the death. It is such things are very dangerous for a human being. So let's go to the next slide. That you know not. We have covered this. We have covered this. You know not what you want. We do not know. Here the author, my Guru, Swami Parthasarathy, has very clearly shown an example कि आपको पता नहीं कि आप चाहते क्या. The mind does not know what does it want. Mind को नहीं पता है कि उसे क्या चाहिए. So we live in a cloud of ignorance. यहाँ पे इस किताब में जब आप पढ़ेंगे, the story of a man wanting a wife. The man wanting a wife, he was very happy. He possessed a desire for marriage. He had everything else. उसके पास सब कुछ था. बहुत talented था, बहुत healthy था, पैसा था. But he wanted a partner. He just wanted a partner. He thought अगर उसकी wife मिल जाएगी, if he gets a wife, his life will be complete. He was very sure he doesn't want anything else. So he fulfilled his desire. He got married. बहुत साल चलता रहा, शादी ठीक ठाक चल रही थी. Life was going very well. He was living a very peaceful life. Then he got a child. He wanted to have a child desperately. He wanted to have a wife first. Now he wanted to have a child. He got a child. His desire got fulfilled. He got a child. Now, the child, they realized, could not hear, and he was mentally handicapped. The man was fallen into misery and started suffering. He didn't start for a child. He didn't want to have a child when he wanted only to have a partner. Now he wanted, look, just analyze it. Now he does not want a wife alone. He wanted a child too. Now he wants a healthy child too. So desires, that's how, this is a very small example. Desires grow like this. Moral lesson is desire continues, multiplies, changes. And when your desires are not, when the child is not healthy, he has agitation, he has stress, he is very deluded. So it is with life. We project our egocentric desires and run after them. We may satisfy our immediate demand. No sooner our demands are fulfilled, we want more. We are caught up in such quicksand of desire. Next slide, please. That in this book, when you read this book, desire entertained has no direction or dimension. It's endless. We are caught up in the desire. We remain frustrated and disappointed. These are what if you lead a life of mind-driven life, of desire-driven life. Next slide. So in this book, when you read it, there is a story about the olive tree. The two hermits living in a cave wanted olive oil for their lamps. olive oil gives them lamp. Like we have mustard oil, in Europe, they have olive oil. So both two hermits planted 2 olive trees. And one hermit, he prayed for God for sunshine so olive tree can grow. And then he prayed for some breeze, some clouds, some rains, and whatever he wanted, God gave everything to him. And still the plant died. Where another hermit, he planted the olive tree and it grew to be very big. So the one whose olive tree had died, he went to the other hermit and said, what happened? He said, I have planted one and prayed. Now for sunshine, now for rain. God has granted each petition, yet my olive tree has slain, yet it has died. Said the other, I entrusted to its God my little tree. He who made knew what it needed, better than a man like me. Laid I on him no conditions, fixed no ways and means. So I wonder not my olive thrived, whilst thy olive tree did die. He said, he had no desire. He planted that olive tree. He said, the one who has given birth to olive tree will look after it. That means he left it on God and the olive tree survived. Here, what is saying that we have a desire and we live by desire. If I leave it to what we said in the first class, the great ordainer, the great manager sitting in the clouds, who's running everything, who knows everything, how things should run, so just leave it to him. He does a good job. He has been doing a good job for centuries and centuries and centuries, day after day, night after night, and things are running beautifully. But we want to modify, we want to change because of our desires, and we get into sadness, depression. So these are what if you lead by the mind, how the mind wants to have endless desires. And when the desires are interrupted, he gets angry, he gets fearful that somebody will take what I have. Then he gets arrogant to the people who have less. He becomes jealous of people who have more, and he lives a miserable life of agitation. Now, desire leads to why we have sort of desire. That there are two purposes. Next slide, please. There are two motivations, very strong, powerful motivation in life. The first motivation is acquisition. We want to acquire. And once we have acquired, we want to enjoy. You have built a house, you want to enjoy the house, living in it. You have built a swimming pool, you want to swim in it. So we think that this motivation of acquiring and enjoying, we feel that there's a attraction, there's an enjoyment in the object. There's no joy content in the object and beings. There's no, we see a dog and we think that dog is a great friend and enjoyment is in the dog. No. What Swami Parthasarathy is saying, what this entire books are saying, that whatever enjoy you're seeking outside is not outside, it is in you. Now, how do you explain this to people? When you're sitting outside, he has given an example in this book. You're sitting outside in the evening in your garden and you see a moon rising. Such a lovely moonlight, soft moonlight. And you know that moonlight is not truly from the moon. Moon is not giving light. It's a light of a sun. It's a reflected light. And the light coming from the moon to you, you know it. But try explaining to your gardener. Try explaining to people who have not studied, who have not read. They will say, no, you are wrong. Light is in the moon only. How can it be? It's coming from the moon. You see the moon. Moon is Giving light, same thing. Same example here is that there's no joy in the objects. It's in you. You extend yourself to the object and perceive it as a joyful. Joy and bliss is inherent in us. Now I have moved on. I'm now going to the more rational, that when you have a desire for a sweet, you think sweet is what which has a joy. No, joy is in you. Now, this concept is something which you have to meditate over it. Think about it. We'll go more and more deeper into it as we go forward. But as of now, like if somebody loves smoking, he lights a cigarette and he feels very happy when he's smoking. A person sitting next to him who's smelling the smoke hates it. He doesn't like it. He says, "What are you doing? Why are you smoking? It's so bad, smoke." So the person who's smoking, he loves it, and person who's sitting next to it, he doesn't like it. If the pleasure was in cigarette, if the joy was in cigarette, both of them would have liked it. Why one likes, one doesn't like? Because differences in their mind. That means the joy is not in cigarette. Joy is in the mind of the person who's smoking. So here mind is important, not the object. But we don't know that. So we don't know that joy is in me. So I keep on running after cigarettes. I smoke more. I feel that if cigarette comes in, I'm very happy. Or they become alcoholic. They think alcohol has all the pleasure. So there's no joy content in the object. It is in us. We have to We have to have the wisdom to accept the truth. There's no joy content in the world. But the problem with the people is that, with the humans are, they perceive the joy in the sense objects. They are like thinking that light is coming from the moon. They don't know. And once you start telling them, once they start reading it, then they become wiser. Next slide, Satyen. So we learned about the mind. If you live a life of a mind-driven body, you will be moving from desire to desire because you want to acquire things and enjoy it uncontrolled. But we also know what is good in the beginning is bad in the end. Whatever is bad in the beginning, good in the end. Now we are looking at some more the defects, so-called, or the what can mind-driven people become. Attachment. Mind's attachment to the objects and being. We are so attached to our children. We are so attached to our wife. We are so attached to our school. We are so attached to our house. We are so attached to our bed. We are so attached to shoes. We are so attached to everything around us, both objects and people. Now that's the mind. Mind gets stuck. Whenever he sees something which it likes, he wants to have it and he doesn't want to leave it. That's attachment. You're so attached to your objects and beings. If you have a dog, you want to sleep with the dog. If you have a house, you so attached to your house all the time. All these things. So children are attached to toys and trinkets. Take an example. The child who's attached to a toy, and what are those toys? Small marbles, some broken pencil, or something which he's playing with. He loves it. Whereas you, as an adult, when you were a child, you also loved it. Now you have grown out of it. So you say, what is this? Stones and all that, broken stone, that too, not full stone. Why are you playing with it? No. For a child, his mind is so attached to his toys. That is life. He can't think beyond it. That's the mind. For young, what is his toys? Name, fame, partner, wealth, his car, his job. These are his toys. So everybody has attachment. Child has attachment. When child grows up, he leaves his toys, goes to his cycle and girlfriend. When he becomes adult and bigger, then he leaves his cycle. He goes to his car. His car becomes the latest toy. He wants name. He wants a good job. He wants a beautiful wife. And the old man is his toys are worries and anxiety. He's constantly worried. Old man is always worried about everything under the sun. He's worried about his roof falling. He's worried about his pension. He's worried about his son going to school. He's worried about his pension not coming on time. He's constantly worried. Those are his attachments. They say that humans minus selfishness, attachment minus selfishness is equal to love. And love plus selfishness equal to attachment. In the book, it is there that if you take attachment, remove the selfishness part of it, that's a pure love. And love, you add selfishness, it becomes attachment. They say that humans minus desire is God. If you have no desire, you're equivalent to God or Godhood. And if you are a God and we add desire on you, you become human being. So that's a power of mind to make you human or non-human. If you eliminate all your desire, if you eliminate your all entire mindful activity, mind-wise activity, you become God. And that comes from intellect. Intellect controls that desire which your mind has. And we have just now said, mind is like a fire. You put wood in it, it'll burn. You put table in it, it'll burn. You put the room in it, it'll burn. You put city in it, it'll burn. Same to desire. You give him one, he wants two. You give him two, wants three. Give him three, he wants 10. Give him 10, he wants 100. And when you have a desire, you have attachment for objects and beings. And it takes you away from your inner self far and far because you get so engaged with the world, you don't have time to look inside. So that is about the how the mind wreaks havoc. Mind wreaks havoc by all these methods and means. So the two, if you want to live a peaceful life, if you want to live a controlled life, if you want to live happy life, if you want to be blissful, your mind has to be under perfect control. Does not mean you should not enjoy life. Don't misunderstand. Don't think that life is not there to enjoy. Enjoy. Have whatever the world has to offer you. Enjoy, eat, but controlled. Under the watch of intellect. Under the watch of control. Where you do not allow mind to run unattended, uncontrolled. If the mind is controlled, then you have a time to look inside. You have time to discover within you lots of things. And you will be at peace. You will not be agitated. So I think we will stop here. And next class, we'll talk about the intellect. So far, we have talked about the mind. And now we will go to the intellect in next class. And if there are any questions, I would be very happy to answer.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. एक्चुअली मेरा सवाल ये है कि लाइक जैसे अभी आपने डिजायर्स के बारे में बताया, but then अभी what is the difference between desire and रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज। क्यों? क्योंकि अगर देख है ना, क्यों लाइफ, मतलब क्योंकि जितना मैं सोच पा रहा हूँ, जिम मतलब जिम्मेदारियां भी लाइक कि इधर ना किधर, दे आर लाइक अ डिजायर।
Satyendra, can we take off the slide and go to the uh, So, very good question. That you want to differentiate, आप चाहते हैं कि डिजायर में और मेरी जिम्मेदारियों में क्या अंतर है, यही कह रहे हैं ना?
जी जी सर।
तो जिम्मेदारियां जो आपके ऊपर हैं, वो आपका इंटेलेक्ट उसमें जो है पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है, तभी तो आपने उसको अपनी जिम्मेदारी कहा, आपने अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कहा। माइंड को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझ में नहीं आती है। माइंड को अपने लिए चाहिए। अगर घर में दो आम है और दो लोग हैं, अगर माइंड को आम अच्छा लगता है तो वो दोनों खा लेगा। लेकिन अगर आप में जिम्मेदारी है, आप जो है, अगर आप दो आदमी हैं तो आप एक आम दूसरे के लिए छोड़ देंगे कि एक हम खाते हैं, दो आम हैं घर में, एक हम खाएंगे और एक हमारे मित्र खाएंगे। ये जिम्मेदारी है। अगर आप एक कमरे में रहते हैं किसी और के साथ, तो आप जो माइंड अपना सुबह उठेगा, अपना बिस्तरा वैसे ही छोड़ के चला जाएगा। लेकिन जो इंटेलेक्ट है वो कहेगा भाई दो लोग रहते हैं, उनको कितना खराब लग रहा होगा हमारा गंदा बिस्तरा देखते हुए, हम बिस्तरा ठीक करके जाएंगे। ये जिम्मेदारी हुई। आप हर चीज अपनी ठीक से रखेंगे, ये जिम्मेदारी हुई। क्योंकि हम रूम शेयर कर रहे हैं। हम जब बाथरूम में जाते हैं और दो लोग घर में रहते हैं, तो हम बाथरूम से नहाने के बाद हम बाथरूम पोंछ देते हैं कि बाथरूम सूखा रहे, दूसरा आदमी आया तो गीला बाथरूम ना मिले। ये जिम्मेदारी है। इसमें आपका इंटेलेक्ट काम कर रहा है। माइंड इज ह्यूजली सेल्फिश नॉर्मली। अनकंट्रोल्ड माइंड इज ऑलवेज सेल्फिश एंड ऑलवेज अटैच्ड। सो आपने जो कहा ये बहुत ही बढ़िया एग्जाम्पल है। माइंड का, डिजायर का एंड इंटेलेक्ट का, दोनों working together to deliver the good result for the people. आपको समझ में आया सब कुछ?
जी
जवाब ठीक लगा आपको?
जी जी सर, जी सर। एंड बस एक एंड बस 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 एक छोटा सा क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए कि लाइक है ना, कि लाइक जैसे आपने बताया कि जब हमारे आय 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 ये ना, मतलब जब हम हमारी जिम्मेदारियां समझते हैं, तो फिर in that case our intellect is working, right? but then है ना, but then कहीं है ना, but then अभी in case of those people who are very incompetent, so within those case, लाइक क्या हम मतलब क्या हम ऐसा बोल सकते कि उन लोगों में इंटेलेक्ट कम है, और लाइक वो लोग कुछ ज्यादा ही डिजायर कर रहे हैं, तो लाइक इनकॉम्पिटेंट लोगों में क्या क्या चलता है?
सो अगर जो है इनकॉम्पिटेंस स्किल की है, मान लीजिए किसी को गाड़ी चलाना नहीं आता, लेकिन वो गाड़ी चलाने लगा। लेकिन जैसे आजकल हर रोज अखबार में आता है ना कि एक बच्चा टीनेजर फादर की गाड़ी लेके चला गया, उसने चार लोगों को मार दिया। सुनते ही नहीं सुनते ऐसी खबरें आप अपने शहर में?
जी जी जी
तो
सर, सुनते हैं।
इसमें क्या हो रहा है? जो इनकॉम्पिटेंसी है उसको तो पता है उसे चलाना नहीं आता है, वो ऐसा नहीं कि वो मूर्ख है, उसको पता है, लेकिन उसका जो डिजायर है वो सो स्ट्रांग है और इंटेलेक्ट उसका काम नहीं कर रहा है। यही वही स्टोरी है जैसे द पॉन्ड, इस किताब में एक स्टोरी है द पॉन्ड। तो चिकन देखता था रोज जो है डक लोग तैरते हैं पानी में, उसको बड़ा अच्छा लगता था। तो ऐसा क्या है उनमें, उसकी माँ ने कहा कि पानी में मत जाना, पानी में जाओगे तुम डूब जाओगे। उसने कहा ना, पानी में क्या रखा है, इतने डक जा रहे हैं, हम भी चले जाएंगे। उनकी जो है बीक लंबी और पतली है, हमारी बीक थोड़ी सी छोटी है और शार्प है, यही तो अंतर है। सो मदर ने कहा, इंटेलेक्ट ने कहा कि पानी में मत जाना, लेकिन उसने सुना नहीं, वो पानी में गया और डूब के मर गया। सो he was incompetent to swim, he did not listen to the intellect, and he did what mind wanted, so he drowned. सेम स्टोरी, जो लोग इनकॉम्पिटेंट हैं, they are incompetent skill wise, but their mind is so strong that उनसे माइंड सब काम कराता है, जानते हुए उनको कंट्रोल नहीं है अपने ऊपर, उनका इंटेलेक्ट डेवलप नहीं है। दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई दिस वर्ल्ड इज सफरिंग, इंटेलेक्ट हैज नॉट ग्रोन, इंटेलेक्ट हैज नॉट कंट्रोल्ड। समझ में आया?
जी सर, जी सर, मैं समझ गया।
थैंक यू,
थैंक
थैंक
यू।
यू। आपने किताब खरीदी है, लिया है किताब?
जी सर, मैं ये किंडल वर, वर, वर्जन है।
वेरी गुड। सेम हार्ड वर्जन किंडल वर्जन सेम, पढ़िए, फिर अगली क्लास में हम लोग आगे डिस्कस करेंगे। ठीक है सत्येंद्र?
जी सर,
ओके,
थैंक
I think he cannot, he has a problem of the,
Yes, 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 yes.
okay, so we move on to next class. All right.
Uh, you want me to show the slides?
No, हम कह रहे हैं हमने डिस्कस कर लिया है। नाउ द चैप्टर 5 विल गो इन नेक्स्ट क्लास। ठीक है?
हाँ 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 हाँ।
ओके।
तो slides are finished ना?
नहीं, slides are not finished, should not be finished. I'll
Shall
get
I
more
show you the
slides.
slides?
I'll get some more slides, not a problem, not an issue at
अच्छा,
all.
मैं स्लाइड्स दिखाता हूँ। अच्छा
जरूरत नहीं है सत्येंद्र, we'll take it up in the next class.
अच्छा, ठीक है ठीक है। So Rohil, if you've got any more question, you can ask.
नो, नो सर, नो सर, आई एम गुड फॉर नाउ, क्योंकि जितने भी सवाल
Okay, so
थे।
how will you? ठीक है। Would you like to rephrase the difference between responsibility and desires?
जी, जी सर। सो जिम्मेदारियों में जिम्मेदारियों में हमारा इंटेलेक्ट काम करता है, जैसे कि आलोक सर ने एग्जांपल दिया था कि अगर मेरे पास दो मैंगोज है, तो फिर मेरे
हम्म
डिजायर बोलेंगे कि मैं दोनों ही
हम्म
मीठे आम में खुद ही मजे से खा लूं। बट
हम्म।
मेरा इंटेलेक्ट बोलेगा कि नहीं, मैं ये रसीले आम मेरे पूरे फैमिली में बराबर बांटूंगा, जो कि एक जिम्मेदारी है।
तो डिजायर को जो रोक रहा है, उसके लिए कोई दूसरा नाम हो सकता है? एथिक्स, मोरालिटी, हायर डिजायर?
आई आई गेस सर, ये
कैन वी से दैट
मोरल।
responsibility is a kind of higher desire or tempered by ethics या tempered by consideration for others? कैसे इसको करो? अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और डिजायर में क्या फर्क है? Suppose you cheat to somebody.
Please, possibility and
Give it a try.
एक्चुअली सर जो आपने इससे पहले एक सवाल पूछा था कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पॉसिबिलिटी एंड, बाद में सुना ही नहीं आया.
डिफरेंस बिटवीन रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड डिजायर, तुम्हारा ही सवाल था ये. इसी सवाल का जवाब तुमको
हाँ.
अभी मिल गया है. अब इसको तुम समझ के किसी और को समझाओगे तो अपनी भाषा में कैसे समझाओगे?
ओके, तो फिर मैं तो जैसे कि आलोक सर ने एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल दिया था मैंगोज का, तो फिर मैं भी उनको वैसे ही समझाऊंगा कि
ठीक.
लाइक जब हम सारे आम खुद के लिए चाहते हैं देन दैट इज अ डिजायर. बट देन जब हम आम
यस.
लाइक हमारे पूरे फैमिली में बांटते हैं, क्योंकि तब हमारा इंटेलेक्ट इंटेलेक्ट टेक ओवर करता है, तो फिर तब हम जिम्मेदारियां निभाते हैं.
ठीक है. क्या इसको हम ऐसे कह सकते हैं कि डिजायर्स मॉड्यूलेटेड बाय कंसिडरेशन फॉर अदर्स is another name for responsibility. Desire
जितना मैं अब तक
tempered by
पाया
consideration for others.
जितना मैं अब तक समझ पाया हूँ, वी कैन से हम इसे ऐसा भी बोल सकते हैं.
Yes, good, 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 good. So basic idea is this, that you can understand something deeply only when you teach it to someone else in your own words. So go and share this idea with someone in your family in your own words कि देखो responsibility ये होती है, desires ये होती हैं, दोनों में ये फर्क है. That's the whole name of the game. Only when you teach someone, only then you can be sure that you have actually understood the whole idea. Right, Alok?
डेफिनेट.
Yes, it's one way of assimilating thoughts. When the knowledge becomes a
Kind of
wisdom,
ripple effect.
when the knowledge becomes a wisdom, only when you absorb the knowledge and live the knowledge, then it is a wisdom. So if you know it, knowing is not enough. You need to absorb in you and start your action as per the knowledge. खाली सीखने से तो नहीं होगा ना. अगर हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करेंगे तो वो हमारा ज्ञान ही रहा, हमारे बुद्धि नहीं हुई, हमारी वो विजडम नहीं बना.
ठीक है.
Okay.
So shall we wind up, or do you have any
Yes.
more questions, Rohil? Alok, do you want to continue?
No.
No, thank you. Thank you. Let's look forward to the next class. Okay.
Great.
Thank
Great.
you. Bye.
Thanks, Alok. Thank you, Rohil.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Rohil, you can wind up now.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.